Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Medical Biochemistry by Dr. Vasan Gosai. Now, today we will discuss about catabolism of the heme. So, from the hemoglobin, how the bilirubin, the biliverdin, they are synthesized. So, here the end product of the heme catabolism, they are the bile pigments. Now, in bile pigments, the bilirubin and biliverdin, they are the bile pigments, while the sodium salts of the glycocolate and taurocolate, they are the bile salt. This is the important viva questions. Okay, remember this difference or example of the bile pigment and bile salt. Now, the bilirubin has actually no function in the body and is excreted through the bile. The senescent RBCs, okay, break down and they liberate the bilirubin. Here from the hemoglobin, the globin chains, they are separated and they are hydrolyzed and amino acid are channeled into the body amino acid pool. The iron which is liberated from the heme is reutilized. Okay, here the actual catabolic pathway of the hemoglobin. From the hemoglobin, the heme part and globin part, they are separated. Globin part is going into the amino acid pool. Okay, now from the heme, the iron is separated. Okay, and iron is reutilized and presence of the enzymes hemoglobin oxygenase. Okay, then from the heme, it converted into the biliverdin. Then from the biliverdin, it converted into the bilirubin. Now how they are synthesized, we will see. The porphyrin ring is broken down in reticuloendothelial cells of the liver, spleen and bone marrow to bile pigment, and mainly it is the bilirubin. About 6 gram of the hemoglobin is broken down per day, from which about 250 milligram of the bilirubin is formed. And from the myoglobin and other heme containing proteins, another 50 milligram of the bilirubin is formed. So approximately 35 milligram of the bilirubin is formed from the 1 gram of the hemoglobin. A total of 300 milligram of the bilirubin is formed every day, out of which 80% is from the destruction of the old RBCs, 10% from the ineffective erythropoiesis, okay, and 10% from the myoglobin and other heme containing amino acids protein. Now, microsomal heme oxygenase system. Now here the enzymes which involved, we will see about them. Heme is degraded primarily by the microsomal enzyme system. It's called heme oxygenase, and it's required the molecular oxygen and NADPH for the regeneration of NADPH. Cytochrome C is required for that. Okay, here the enzyme is induced by the heme. The oxygenase enzyme specifically catalyzes the cleavage of the alpha methynyl bridge, which linking the pyrrole rings 1 and 2. The alpha methynyl bridge is quantitatively liberated as a carbon monoxide. Now here the ferrous which liberated is oxidized to ferric form and taken up by the transferrin. Now the linear tetrapyrrole form is biliverdin, okay, which is green in color. In mammals, it is further reduced into the bilirubin, a red yellow pigment, okay, by NADPH dependent biliverdin reductase enzymes. But in birds, in amphibians and in rabbits, it excretes the green biliverdin. Okay, okay, heme converted into the biliverdin enzyme heme oxygenase. Then from biliverdin, it's converted into the bilirubin by biliverdin reductase enzymes. Okay, now what happened after that? The bilirubin is after that where it goes. So first one is the transport into the liver. The liver plays the central role in the further disposal of the bilirubin. Now what happened with the bilirubin? We will see. The bilirubin is formed in the reticuloendothelial cells, is insoluble in water. The lipophilic bilirubin is therefore transported in plasma bound to the albumin. Here the one molecule of albumin can bind 2 molecules of the bilirubin. So here the 100 ml of plasma can transport up to 25 milligram of the bilirubin. Albumin binds bilirubin in loose combination. So when it's present, it's in excess, the bilirubin automatically or bilirubin easily dissociated from the albumin. The binding site for the bilirubin can be occupied by the some drugs like aspirin, penicillin. Okay, so such drugs can therefore displace the bilirubin from the albumins. So care should be taken while administering such drugs to newborn babies to avoid kernicterus. Okay, kernicterus is the presence of the bilirubin in the brain. Okay, so when the albumin bilirubin complex reaches at the sinusoidal surface of the liver, the bilirubin is taken up. Okay, and this uptake is carrier mediated active process. Then what happened? The third step is the conjugation in the liver. Okay, now inside the liver cell, what happened? The conjugation. The bilirubin is conjugated with the glucuronic acid to make it water soluble. The first carbon of glucuronic acid is combined with the carboxyl group of the propionic acid side chains of the bilirubin molecules. About 80% molecules are in the diglucuronide form, while 20% are the monoglucuronide form. Like this, the conjugations UDP glucose, okay, in presence of the UDP glucose dehydrogenase, it converted into the UDP glucuronic acid. Okay, now UDP glucuronic acid combined with or conjugated with bilirubin and form the bilirubin monoglucuronide. Okay, and then monoglucuronide, okay, combined with another molecule of the UDP glucuronic acid. Okay, here the enzyme is the UDP glucuronosyl transferase enzymes, and which form the bilirubin diglucuronide. Okay, bilirubin, okay, conjugated with the albumin. Okay, then in hepatocyte, bilirubin is converted into the bilirubin diglucuronide form. Then third step is the secretion. Okay, then last is the bilirubin diglucuronide, then it converted into the biliverdin, okay, urobilinogen and stercobilinogens. Okay, now fourth step is the excretion of the bilirubin to the bile. Now water soluble conjugated bilirubin is excreted into the bile by an active process, and this occurs against a concentration gradient, and this is the rate limiting step in the catabolism of the heme. Now अब जो conjugated bilirubin जो बना है, ठीक है, अब उसका क्या होगा वो अपन देखेंगे. तो वो अब इंटेस्टाइन में जो जाएगा उसके बारे में अपन देखेंगे. तो the conjugated bilirubin reaches the intestine through the bile. Okay, and here the intestinal bacteria deconjugate the conjugated bilirubin, and this free bilirubin is further reduced to a colorless tetrapyrrole urobilinogen form. Okay, urobilinogen compound, which further reduced, okay, further reduction of the vinyl substitution group of the UBG, which leads to the formation of the mesobilinogen and stercobilinogens. And here the stercobilinogen is mostly excreted through the feces. Okay, and its concentration is 250 to 300 milligram per day. Okay, now sixth one is the enterohepatic circulation. Now remaining 20% of the UBG is reabsorbed from the intestine and returned to the liver, okay, by the portal blood, and here it is called enterohepatic circulation. The UBG is again re-excreted, okay, and this is called the enterohepatic circulation. Now since the UBG is passed through the blood, a small fraction is excreted in the urine also. Okay, less than 4 milligram per day, the UBG concentration is excreted into the urine. Now final excretion. Now what happened with this UBG and SBG? Okay, urobilinogen and stercobilinogen. Here the UBG and SBG are both colorless compounds but are oxidized to the colored products, urobilin and or stercobilin. Okay, Now here the both urobilin and stercobilin are present in the urine as well as in feces. Okay, so the normal color of the feces is due to the this compound urobilin and stercobilin. Now black color is seen in the constipation if intestinal flora is decreased by the prolonged administration of the antibiotics. The bilirubin is not reduced to the bilinogens, okay, and in large gut it is reoxidized by oxygen to form the biliverdin. So here the feces then acquires green tinge, especially in the children's. Okay, you can see here the bilirubin, some part, okay, what happened in liver, okay, and what happened in the intestine, okay. From the transfer to intestine, the bilirubin, okay, is converted into the urobilinogen. Some part, okay, goes into the kidney, okay. And here from the urobilinogen, it's converted into the urobilin and stercobilin. In intestine you can see, okay, and in urine you can see from the stercobilinogen, it's by the oxidation converted into the stercobilin, and okay, in urine the urobilinogen is converted into the urobilin. Now actually the normal plasma bilirubin level, okay, 0.2 to 0.8 milligram per deciliter, and the unconjugated bilirubin is about 0.2 to 0.6 milligram per deciliter, while conjugated bilirubin is only 0 to 0.2 milligram per deciliter. If the plasma bilirubin level exceeds 1 milligram per deciliter, the condition is called hyperbilirubinemia. The levels between 1 and 2 milligram per deciliter, they are indicative of the latent jaundice. When the bilirubin levels is more than 2 milligram per deciliter, it diffuses into the tissue and producing the yellowish discoloration of the sclera, conjunctiva, skin and mucous membrane, and this condition is called jaundice. Okay, this is the definition of the jaundice. Okay, now how can we identify, okay, it's a jaundice or not? So here some investigative procedures or some tests. So here the first test is the Vandenberg test for the bilirubin, and here it's the principle. Here the principle is the bilirubin reacts with the diazo reagent, okay, and it's form the ceiling colored or azo pigment, okay. At pH 5 the pigment is purple in color, okay, and the conjugated bilirubin being water soluble give this color immediately, okay, and it is called a direct reaction. Okay, now free bilirubin is water insoluble, so it has to be extracted first with the alcohol, and when the reaction become positive, so this is called indirect reactions. Okay, then second test is the Ehrlich reagent test. Okay, here what happened, the bilinogens, okay, like UBG and SBG react with the Ehrlich aldehyde reagent, which form the red color, and oxidizing agents readily oxidize bilirubin to biliverdin to form a green color. Then other test is the Faucett test. Urine is heated with the barium sulfate, which adsorbs the bilirubin, and here the ferric chloride oxidized bilirubin to form a green color. Then another test is the Mellin test. Here the nitric acid is used as an oxidizing agent, and here the bilinogens form the complex with the zinc ions, which exhibit the brilliant green fluorescence. Okay, and this is the basis for the Schlesinger's reactions. Okay, now the summary of these contents or this taste. Okay, it is for the bile pigment. Okay, so bile pigments are the bilirubin, okay, bilinogens and bilins. So here the Faucett test, Faucett and Mellin and Vandenberg test, the bilirubin gives the positive test. Okay, all three tests are the positive for the bilirubin, but they are negative. Bilirubin is negative for in Ehrlich test, okay, and in Schlesinger's test, okay. Then bilinogen test is positive for in Ehrlich's test, okay. Ehrlich's test gives the positive for bilinogens, okay. Then bilins, they are positive in Schlesinger's test, okay. Now difference between free bilirubin and conjugated bilirubin. So free bilirubin, it's actually insoluble in the water but soluble in the alcohol, okay. Now conjugated bilirubin, it's soluble in the water and it insoluble in the alcohol. And this is and we have already discussed about the normal plasma level. Free bilirubin 0.2 to 0.6 milligram per deciliter and conjugated bilirubin 0 to 0.2 milligram per deciliter. Actually in bile, free bilirubin is absent while conjugated bilirubin is present, okay. But in urine also always in absent, okay, free bilirubin, but normally in some cases a conjugated bilirubin may be present, okay, but normally it is absent. Now absorption from the GIT, free bilirubin is absorbed while conjugated bilirubin not absorbed, okay. Then diffusion, mostly it diffuses into the tissue while conjugated bilirubin does not diffuse. Now hyperbilirubinemia, depending on the nature of the bilirubin elevated, the condition grouped into the conjugated or unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, okay. And mostly they are based on its cause, okay. Cause actually maybe it's congenital or maybe it's acquired. So first we will discuss about, okay, congenital hyperbilirubinemia, and actually they result from the abnormal uptake, conjugation or abnormal excretion of the bilirubin due to the inherited defects. So first one is the Siegler-Nager syndrome, and here its defect is in the conjugation. If defect in conjugation, so what happened here, there is a severe deficiency of the enzyme UDP glucuronide transferase, okay, and the disease is often fatal and the children die before the age of the 2, and jaundice usually appears within the first 24 hours of the life, okay. Here the unconjugated bilirubin level increases more than to 20 milligram per deciliter and connecterus results, okay. Here the type 2 disease is a milder form. Only the second stage of conjugation is deficient. When barbiturates are given as a treatment, so some response is seen and jaundice is improves. Then second disorder is the Gilbert disease, and it is inherited as an autosomal dominant trait, and here the defect is in the uptake of the bilirubin, okay. In Siegler-Nager syndrome it's a conjugation defect. Now here in Gilbert disease is the uptake of the bilirubin by the liver. So bilirubin level is usually around 3 milligram per deciliter and patient is asymptomatic except for the presence of the mild jaundice. Then third disorder is the Dubin-Johnson syndrome. It is an autosomal recessive trait leading to the defective excretion of the conjugated bilirubin and increased conjugated bilirubin in the blood. And here the result, the defective ATP dependent organic anion transport in the bile canaliculi, okay, means defective excretion, okay, in the defective transportation, okay, in the bile canaliculi. So here the bilirubin gets deposited in the liver, so the liver appears black in color, okay, black liver jaundice called, okay. So here in normal person, when 250 milligram of BSP, okay, BSP bromsulfalane is given IV, so blood contains only 5% of the original value at 45 minutes, okay, and only 2% at 2 hours. BSP is taken up by the hepatocyte and conjugated and then excreted through the liver. In Dubin-Johnson syndrome, what happened? The BSP level in serum at 2 hours is more than the value at the 45 minutes, and this is because by 45 minutes BSP is taken up by the hepatocytes and the blood level is reduced, but excretory defect ठीक है, एक्सक्रीटरी डिफेक्ट की वजह से फॉर कॉन्जुगेटेड बीएसपी द रिगर्जिटेशन इनटू द प्लाज्मा, सो हियर द हायर वैल्यू एट द 2 hours we gain. Then other disorder is Rotter's syndrome, and it is due to the bilirubin excretion defect, okay, and it is an autosomal recessive condition. Now congenital hyperbilirubinemia is over. Now the acquired hyperbilirubinemia, and here the first condition is the physiological jaundice, and we all know it is a neonatal hyperbilirubinemia, and in all newborn infants after 2 days, a second day of the life, the mild jaundice is appears, and this is due to an accelerated rate of the destruction of the RBCs, and this is also because of the immature hepatic system of the conjugations of the bilirubin, and in such cases the bilirubin does not increase above 5 milligram per deciliter, and it automatically disappears by the second week of the life. Then second one is the breast milk jaundice. In some breastfed infants, the prolongation of the jaundice has been attributed to high level due to the high level of the estrogen derivatives in maternal blood, which is excreted through the milk, and this would inhibit the glucuronide transferase system. Okay, so what happens? The sulfa and such drugs may release the bilirubin from the albumin, and they may cause the jaundice in the newborn. Then the jaundice, the types of the jaundice, okay, the hemolytic, okay, then obstructive jaundice and hepatocellular jaundice, okay. So first one is the hemolytic jaundice, the hemolytic disease of the newborn. This condition results from the incompatibility between the maternal and fetal blood groups. The Rh positive fetus may produce the antibodies in Rh negative mother. So in Rh incompatibility, the first child often escapes. First child को कुछ नहीं होगा, but in second pregnancy, what happened? The Rh antibodies will pass from mother to fetus and start destroying the fetal red blood cells even before the birth. So when severe hemolytic disease occurs, the condition is called the erythroblastosis fetalis. When blood level is more than 20 milligram per deciliter, the capacity of albumin to bind bilirubin is exceeded, okay. And in young children, what happened? Before the age of 1 year, the blood brain barrier is not fully matured, so free bilirubin entered into the brain, okay, and this condition is called kernicterus. It is deposited in the brain and leading to the mental retardation, fits, toxic encephalitis and spasticity. So if the child develops hemolytic disease, child may be given exchange transfusion along with the phototherapy and barbiturate, okay. Phototherapy with the blue light, फोटोथेरापी से क्या होगा, उसको ट्रीटमेंट पे क्यों दिया जाती है? क्योंकि इट्स आइसोमराइज द इनसॉल्युबल बिलिरुबिन टू मोर सॉल्युबल आइसोमर्स, ओके. सो उसको हम इजीली एक्सक्रीट कर सकते हैं थ्रू यूरिन विदाउट कॉन्जुगेशंस, इसलिए अपन उसको ट्रीटमेंट में फोटोथेरापी देते हैं. नाउ hemolytic disease of the adult, ठीक है. Though this condition is seen in due to the increased rate of the hemolysis, and there are many causes for the hemolysis. The characteristic features are increase in unconjugated bilirubin in the blood, absence of bilirubinuria, and excessive excretion of the UBG in urine and SPG in the feces. These are the characteristic features in the adults, okay. Now the common causes for this conditions is congenital spherocytosis, GP deficiency, autoimmune hemolytic anemias, okay, where the increased rate of the hemolysis occurred. The second one is the toxins like carbon tetrachloride intake, okay. Then hepatocellular jaundice. The most common cause is viral hepatitis. And they caused by the hepatitis virus A, B, C, D or G. And in pure hepatocellular disease, what happened? The conjugations in the liver is decreased. So here the free bilirubin is increased in the circulation. Here the intracellular inflammatory edema of the cell often compresses the intracellular canaliculi at the site of the bile formation, and this produces an element of the obstruction. ये क्या करेगा, ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन करेगा, ठीक है, बाइल कैनालिकुलाई की जगह पे, ठीक है। सो व्हेन कॉन्जुगेटेड बिलिरुबिन लेवल इज इंक्रीजेज ऑल्सो इंक्रीजेज द मिक्स टाइप ऑफ द जॉन्डिस रिजल्ट and bilirubinuria is also occur. UBG level in the urine may be normal or may be decreased in the hepatocellular jaundice. Then last one is the obstructive jaundice. Here the conjugated bilirubin is increased in blood and it excreted in the urine. If there is complete obstruction, the UBG will be decreased in the urine, okay, or even absent the UBG, okay, urobilinogen. And in total obstruction of the biliary tree, the bile does not enter into the intestine since no pigments are enter into the gut and the feces become clay colored. Here the causes of the obstructive jaundice, obstructions, mostly the intrahepatic cholestasis and extrahepatic cholestasis due to the stones in the gallbladder, okay. Intrahepatic cholestasis causes the chronic active hepatitis, biliary cirrhosis, okay, then lymphoma, primary hepatoma, okay. And in extrahepatic cholestasis, the stones in the gallbladder or biliary tract, okay, carcinoma of the head of pancreas, enlarged lymph node, okay, infodiabetes, etc. Now differential diagnosis of the jaundice in hemolytic jaundice. What happened? The free bilirubin is increased, okay. Free bilirubin is increased in hemolytic and hepatocellular jaundice, okay, while conjugated bilirubin is increased in hepatocellular and obstructive jaundice, okay. Then alkaline phosphatase enzyme, ALP, okay, it's mostly increased in the hepatocellular jaundice. Here the urine bile salt, they are present only in the obstructive jaundice, but they are absent in the hemolytic and hepatocellular jaundice. Then conjugated bilirubin, they may be also present in the obstructive jaundice. Then urine bilirubinogens is increased in the hemolytic jaundice and they are absent in the hepatocellular and obstructive jaundice. Okay, thank you.